going. Ooh, you even gave a little audio. All right. Awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me for Tirade World. So you're in Melbourne right now, and I just wanted you to, I know I asked this before we started recording, but just let everyone know how you're going down there at the moment.
Yeah, it is pretty tricky. It feels like a little bit of an emotional roller coaster because, I have headlining shows that have been postponed and they keep on being pushed back. It's definitely a tricky time for artists, and we were, initially told it was going to be a week, and now it's been like 6, and we've got to stay in for an extra month. It's just a tricky time for everyone, and we just have to hold on and try and stay positive. That's all we can do.
Exactly. I love that attitude. Hopefully it will get better soon. I wanted to run through as well some quick this or that's to choose from, just to kind of break down any barriers before we get into more of the deeper questions. Basically choosing one option or the other that I'll give you. So summer or winter?
Summer.
Summer, 100%. No hesitation there either.
Yeah, none.
I'm the exact same.
I need that vitamin D.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and this will be a bit tricky because I know that you are quite heavily involved with like fashion and all things visually pleasing, but sight or sound?
Like if I had to choose whether or not I could only hear or see.
Yeah.
I'd have to choose hearing, because if I can't hear, I can't sing.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, for sure. And this is also another tricky one just because of lockdown situations. But if the world were different, would you prefer going out or staying home?
Yeah, it has to be going out. There's just been too much staying home at the moment. And I'm kind of like an introverted extrovert. So
Yeah.
I love being around people, and I really need to be experiencing the world in order to like get inspired to write more. So yeah.
I love that. That's an awesome view to have. And last one, spirituality or religion?
Oh, definitely. Oh, this is tricky. I think because I was brought up very religious.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to choose spirituality because there's a bit more like intimacy and freedom and flexibility, and it feels like also a bit more understanding with other people that you meet. Because with spirituality, you can all sort of agree that, you're all sort of looking towards the same source.
Yeah.
With religion, you get kind of stuck in this place of, oh, no. There's just too much rules. That's what I think.
You're black or white. Yeah.
Yeah. Life isn't black and white.
No matter how hard you try, it's not. I wanted to, on that note of your upbringing and such and childhood, could you just tell everyone, for those who don't know, just a bit of your background and, how you did grow up?
Yeah, I was born in Nigeria to Ghanian parents, and we came to Australia when I was a baby. My dad got a scholarship to work to study at Monash University. And my upbringing was, very interesting. I grew up in a kind of like a cocooned community where I didn't know anyone who wasn't Christian, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I went to a school that was attached to a church, and it was literally 100 meters down the street. And so I would go to school every day, and I'd go to church maybe 5 days a week. So I kind of got baptized, pardon the pun, in so much music and so much, theory of music. And my dad also loved music. He played the guitar and the piano. So my upbringing was just very, I don't know, even though it was cocooned, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't really experience any sort of like intense hardships. I got to just be myself. I did ballet for years. I played the clarinet and piano. I joined a theatre group as well. So it was a very innocent time. It was only when I went to university, I was like, oh my God.
It all changes as soon as you kind of grow up a bit or leave your little shelter in a way.
Yeah, but it was important. Everyone needs to grow up. I had definitely had some like fixed mindsets about how I thought the world was. And I definitely struggled when I met people who didn't fit that view of who were amazing people. And so there's a lot of growth that happened and a lot of mindsets that were
Yeah,
shifted. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And I guess with your family being quite musical as well, would you say that is kind of what sparked your interest in following music as a career, or was it more of an internal thing for you?
It was very internal. I am Ghanian, so we don't usually pursue music as a career. It's like go to church and sing, go to uni and become a doctor or an engineer. So my family, my culture laid down the foundations, and so it became a part of me. It's like woven into my soul. But yeah, I never really thought I could have a career in it. I just thought it was just something that I would do when I needed to really process intense emotions or try to explain something inside me that didn't really have words.
Yeah,
That's how I used music.
yeah,
But yeah, my dad influenced me a lot. All of his vast music collection and all of those sounds that kept on coming into my ears.
yeah.
That's how,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And so would you say that culture, I suppose, has a big influence on your music or your sound?
Um, I was brought, we did have a lot of high life. It's a type of genre of music from Ghana in the house. But because I kind of feel like I'm caught in between worlds. I'm an Australian girl, but I don't look typically Australian. But if I went to Ghana with my accent, they'd be like, where are you from?
Yeah.
So I think that really adds to like my experience as an artist, not quite fitting in, because it gives me, I guess, some sort of desire to explain or to tell a story, and also to make space for other people that don't quite fit in as well. So I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful place to be, especially with music, because it brings people together as well. So that's awesome. I've also noticed with your music, you often lyrically explore maybe some more negative kind of emotions or journeys that people go through that's quite universal, such as heartbreak and such. But you still manage to create a sound that's quite uplifting or powerful. So I guess it's quite therapeutic as well. Is this intentional when you go in to write a song?
It is intentional. I mean, I remember when I was young, I heard, oh, what's her name? Something Allen. I've forgotten her name. Anyway, can't remember her name. Anyway, she wrote a song and the lyrics were just so happy. Oh, well, the sound of it, I should say, was so happy, but the lyrics were really intense. And I like that idea of contrast with music, because people often sort of present, a brave face, but under the surface, there's always clues that they throw out. Like you might say, how you doing? They might be like, yeah, I'm okay. And the way their tone dips down, it's kind of like please ask more about me. So it's maybe a kind of a hook that I have in my music to make people feel comfortable. And maybe on the third, fourth, fifth listen, they can really get into the layers of the music and understand the heartache that I'm actually presenting. Because if you just unleash all of your emotions at once, it's a bit too much. I like to sort of come in gently. I want to be like a soft lullaby in your ear at night.
Yeah.
But if you're ready and if you want to contemplate, then you can go ahead.
Yeah, and that's awesome because some people do, I guess, need that time before they do a bit more self-reflection or healing. They need padding.
Yeah, it's not, my music isn't about, forced emotions. It's about, just showing a door. If you want to go in, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I wanted to chat about as well just your experience, I guess, with like acting and modeling that you've had since childhood, and how fashion, I guess, integrates into your music or your influences.
Yeah. Well, I started modeling when I was a teenager. I used to do ballet, And at one concert, there was a photographer who saw me. And so he contacted the principal and was like, I'd love to do some photo shoots with Akosia. And at that time, I didn't really have the self-confidence. I didn't necessarily look at myself and think, I'm a model. So I was like, oh, this is weird. I said no. And then I waited about a year, and then something in my head was like, just give it a go. And so that's when I first started my career. And that photographer is Colin Anderson, and he actually took the artwork photography for my latest single, Better, where I'm like, you know, suspended in the air. So we've been working together for so long. And fashion is another interesting element, because I'm really trying to sort of express and share all the images that I see in my head. So when I write music and when I listen to music, I see vivid images, and I start to imagine what it feels like. So feeling isn't just sensations on your skin. It's kind of like how you feel in your mind and your fears and so many other different things. So fashion is a way that enables you to present to the world who you want the other people to perceive you as, if that makes sense. It's like a little ladder that cheats you through, helps open doors, helps people understand, okay, this is Akosia or this is Bonnie. And so I really try to infuse all of my music with a very strong intentional element of fashion to sort of like set the scene and to give people an idea of like the 360 view of what I'm trying to say. So for example, if you view love as a coin, it could be 2D. So you've got like the passion at the top, but you also have the pain, which is part of that coin, and it's very important. But then I don't want it just to be a coin. I want to build it into a sphere. So you can really turn it around and view it from all different angles and just tap into whatever experience you can relate to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, basically creating your own world. It's awesome. Yeah,
and fashion is an important element to that.
That's awesome. Do you think that this is something that you will try to bring into live performances when we can get back into that again?
Yeah, for sure. At the moment, I'm creating and curating my show. And I had a beautiful show planned for the Vivid Sydney, but that got cancelled. I'm trying to infuse as much into my show as possible, as long as the venue supports it, as long as my budget supports it. So it's like visuals, dances, fashion, space, and time to be able to process. All of these things just create a beautiful show.
That's awesome. And so we'll chat about your new single, Better, obviously. I've noticed that it has, well, first of all, congratulations on the release. Awesome song. I'm sure you're excited. It's okay. I did notice that it has quite a bit of a sharper, edgier kind of sound to it compared to your previous more smooth tracks. What was the story behind Better?
So I wrote Better at a time where I felt, I don't know, quite intense. I have a lot of big emotions, which is probably very obvious. And so at that time, I was trying to make myself a better person, not just, you know, with my writing and my singing and my performance skills. I just wanted to be a better friend, a better lover, a better, you know, person to work with. But at the same time, I was dealing with like a very intense relationship, which felt like it was this all the time. Really insane highs, quite intense lows. And so I was just like, I don't know, I felt, what's the word I'm looking for? I felt like I was in a cube, just kind of stuck in a cave. And I just wanted to express that feeling. And so that's how I wrote Better. Better just was a way for me to sort of cure those huge emotions and just write all my frustrations down. And also kind of ask myself the question, like, do I need to stay here? I do want to, but is this working out? Because I had just sort of started and felt really secure in myself as an artist, but I wasn't sure if being an artist and being in a relationship can really work, because it's kind of tricky. Being an artist is kind of a selfish thing. Like,
yeah.
if I'm being honest, you're focused on yourself and you're so driven and you're like, I want things to work like this, and this. And then you meet someone that you're really in love with, and they're like, yeah, that's great, but it needs to be us. And at that time I was like, I don't know about that.
Like, I can't do that. You only have enough time to focus on so much.
Yeah, that's right. So that's where Better came from.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome story. And I guess as well, you know, going back to how like artists in general, I hate using that word selfish, but it is quite just like self-focused, I suppose. It's more of like a journey that all artists go on, and it's very much a creative journey that you would go on as well. I do wonder though, with these songs that you bring out and the people who do inspire them, do you ever worry about maybe saying too much, or the reactions of the people that you may write about? Like what kind of goes through your head with that kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, don't say I wrote that specifically about someone, but we weren't in contact at that time. So there has to be an element of not caring sounds a bit harsh, but there has to be an element of detachment, because I have to sort of bring truth and authenticity to the song. And sometimes it's going to hurt a person if they know about it. But for example, my next single, I actually wrote it with a very specific person in mind. And once I wrote it, I was like, if they hear this, they are probably going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
So I had to make it a bit more vague. Like when I first wrote it, it was transparent, like just blood. And I was like, it even had like their name in it.
Oh no.
And I was like, no, I can't do that. I took it out and I shuffled it around, and because I'm not here to hurt people, because at the end of the day, it's just my opinion and my perspective. I can be like, you hurt me, but I'm sure that person's like, girl, you hurt me.
Yeah.
And both of those things are true. So
yeah,
I try to stay in a place of being honest, but I still care about people's emotions, because I'm not here to burn bridges. I'm just here to speak some truth.
yeah, tell your story, whatever that story may be, of course. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you were mentioning that new single that you're working on. Is that the only thing you're working on at the moment, or do you have like certain projects that are in the works that you are going through?
Yeah, I actually have 2 bodies of work that I'm working on, and I've been working on my debut album for a long time now, because I'm being very picky about it. So there's songs that I write where I'm like, yes, that'll work because I'm creating this story, and other songs, if I write another song, I'll take it. So I'm just taking my time, because you can only have one first debut album, and I really wanted to make it special. I want it to flow, and I want people to just listen to it from beginning to end. But before that comes out, I'm going to release an EP. It's just a difficult time to sort of understand and know when to release music, because you really want to tour it, you know? I want to drop an EP and then be like, hey, it's a Akosia tour coming up. But without knowing that, it just feels a little bit, I don't know, reckless, or I'm not sure. But sometime soon, when I know what's going to happen with the climate, I'll be making some announcements.
That's very exciting. Do you have any, I guess, dream places or stages or festivals that you may want to tour in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to, you know, do a major world tour and do all of the hot spots and just go around all of the major cities as well. But part of my sort of vision is I really want to do like concerts in places where it takes a bit of an effort to get there. So you might have to like go by a small boat to get to this hill to climb up for a few Ks to get into a cave, and there I am. Like I want to do a couple of shows like that where it's just like completely immersive and people leave feeling changed. So that's definitely on my list.
And it's just more like a whole experience, as if it's like an art exhibition almost. That's
really spot on.
Oh, I love that. I love that. When you are making music in the studio, what would you say you have to absolutely have with you? Like 3 things, or how your environment kind of has to be set up?
A lot of my songwriting doesn't actually happen in the studio, so I will be minding my business and then inspiration hits and I'll hear a really sort of not hypnotic, but a really engaging tune in my head, and I'll just follow it. And then once I get the idea out, I'll go sit with my guitar or my piano and I'll make it into something beautiful. But in the studio, the thing that I actually need to have, or I love to have, is a nice connection with a producer. So before we start writing, we often just have a chat if I've never met the person before, and I just get to know them, they get to know me. I want to find out about that thing that's really annoying them at the moment or that's really inspiring them, and then I'll tell them the same thing. So I really like to create something that I couldn't have made without them, and vice versa if we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like when inspiration really hits, you don't really need anything. You can just use what's around you and you can make something really beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it sounds like you have quite a knack for vulnerability, or bringing out vulnerability in other people as well, not just through music, but just through, I guess, basic intuition, which is such a special gift to have as well. Would you say that that's always been something that you have had, like growing up or as a child, or has it developed kind of more as you've followed this path?
I think it's developed as I grew up. I am the quietest person in my family. I'm not shy by any means. So and also there's lots of people in my life who are so brilliant. So I really learned how to listen. And listening is not just listening. I really like to look, because when you're looking at people, you can see flickers or micro facial expressions. So you can get a better picture of what it is that they're feeling, what they're hiding, what they want to say.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I don't know, I feel like I'm giving attention and love to the person who's listening. And people don't often have someone in their life who actually just look them in the eye.
Yeah.
And that kind of energy, I try to translate it and shift it into my music as well. Of course, when you play my song on Spotify or whatever, you can't see me, but I want to give that energy of, although I'm saying something to you, I'm also listening, I'm also creating space. But vulnerability is so important. I think it's kind of weird because I'm very shy in terms of I don't tell you private things, but I will sort of expose myself or bare my heart and my soul in my music. So I'm very vulnerable with my words, my lyrics. But if you said to me, what's going on with you? I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm perfect.
But music really allows me to sort of share myself, and I feel like there's purpose to it, and it's honorable because it's not just me processing, it's also me allowing people to process or feel. I feel like that's my job. I want to help people feel and be them.
Yeah, feel authentically. It's beautiful. I love that. I guess I was going to ask as well, who you were listening to at the moment. So you've got your own genre of music, which is actually quite genre fluid, and you almost create your own. But who do you listen to at the moment? Like, who's on maybe your top rotations on Spotify that maybe influence you as well?
I am very much inspired and influenced by Frank Ocean, Moses Sumney, Janae Aiko, Scissors Great as well.
Yeah.
I just love, it's not, and I think it's more about feeling like this boom of energy when the song comes on. I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? But there's something about those artists who they're just being themselves, and there's just so much, I don't know, volume's not the right word, but there's so much volume with like what they're giving in terms of like they're bearing their soul, they're just being themselves, and I just can feel it. So those are the modern people that I look to, but I'm always listening to like Sade. She's like my forever muse.
Yeah.
She's just simplicity of voice and her lyrics. I just, oh,
Yeah.
I'm in love with her. She's fantastic. Yeah, Miles Davis. I love me some Billie Holiday, of course.
Yeah.
All those jazz greats, because there's a lot of pain that they create from. And it's like that they didn't really have anything else but the music. And that just creates something special and raw. And that's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to try and emulate anyone else. Of course, I'm influenced by people, but my job is to be me. And my job is just to sit in the moment and share myself with my audience through my music. And I think that's important, because I think that allows other people to look at me and be like, I can be myself. I can do whatever it is that I love to do. And I need to, because we only live for what, if we're lucky, 85 years or more.
Yeah.
Time is so precious. Just do that thing that you've been suppressing. Be that person who you are. That's what my goal is. I want to share that message through my music.
That's so beautiful. So basically express, don't suppress, and just feel the music and listen to better. Be a better person.
That's right.
Oh, I love that. Was there anything else that you wanted to add or say to anyone that is listening at the moment?
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to this interview. Please check out my music. I have 3 other singles that I've released, and they have music videos. And follow me on Spotify, Instagram. My handle is iam.akosia. And I really hope you enjoy what I have to offer.
I'm sure that they will. I definitely did.
Thank you so much, Bonnie.
That's okay. Thanks so much, Akosia. Have a lovely day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.